Hey guys, this is Collin Moshman for CardRunners.com. Today we have part 2 of our 2-part Quickie series on the heads-up sit and go played against a reg on PokerStars. Last video ended with a 3-bet and take it with King 10 suited. Here now opens 10 deuce off. Generally I fold these chunk hands on the button. It will depend on our opponent. If he folds any more than 50% to min raises, then we'll show an immediate profit. And we can also profit if he plays weakly post-flop, has a high fold to flop c-bet. So definitely consider all of his stats before just auto-folding in spots like that. King 4 off, definitely a raise fold with a hand that doesn't have much post-flop playability. The only alternative is to sometimes make a late 4-bet with the king blocker, so we can make it say 3-10 and still be correct to fold to a 5-bet shove. But just raise folding is of course the standard good play, and we definitely want a strong read on our opponent, because otherwise plays like those kinds of late 4-bets will tend to just be spewy. We open the Queen Jack offsuit, face a 3-bet, and here are 4-bet shoves. Let's take a quick look at the numbers on a play like this and see how wide he has to be 3-betting and what his range for calling off a 4-bet shove would have to look like for this kind of shove to be profitable. So we can do that by starting off with the Nash range in the Hold'em Resources downloadable calculator, which will show that in Nash we open about top 80%, which certainly looks realistic for a hero based on how wide he's opening the button. We then get 3-bet with close to top 50%. And 4-bet 33%, he calls with top 37%. Against most regs, these are not going to be, or most players in general, these are not going to be the most realistic ranges. So, for example, most players are not going to be 3-betting us quite this wide, and if they do, it's probably going to be a more polarized range. So they're going to be 3-betting hands where they want to face a 4-bet shove and get it in, hands where they have a clear fold, and flatting a lot of the hands in between. If we do for a moment, they'll take it to be a linear range. Our break-even point might be around when he 3-bets, say, 30% of hands. So in this case, we can recalculate, and he then calls it off with top 23%. And this is going to be fairly close for Queen Jack off to be break-even. We can pull up the heat map, and we have a minus EV play, but this is getting closer, so maybe around top 33% is the break-even point. So if we have a reg who we think is 3-betting us very wide, probably not calling off the 4-bet shove quite this wide with hands like Jack-9 suited and 10-9 suited, that they would just flat instead, then it can certainly be profitable, but we do want a pretty strong read in order to make a play like this. So here gets it in and binks the suck out. Queen 10 off, he elects to 3-bet. Generally, I would just flat here, but 3-betting isn't unreasonable, and of course we're folding facing a 4-bet shove. So Ace 5 off, we would tend to flat facing a min raise. And Ace 3 suited, we bet. Our plan here facing a check raise is going to be to bet call and evaluate turn. So with Ace High, a gut shot, a backdoor flush draw, it's a little bit too strong to bet fold against an aggressive reg. So if he made it, say, 200, we would flat, see what happened on the turn. Instead, he check calls. His range here is probably going to be a lot of 4x, 5x hands that he would have flatted pre with. So, for example, Ace 4 off, King 5 suited kind of hands that he might not check raise the flop with. And besides that, hands like Ace High, decent King X hands like maybe King Jack with the King of Spades. So it's the kind of range we put him on. Not much value in betting this turn. So we just check back and look to showdown cheaply. And probably we're up here against a hand like 4x or Ace High. And we chop it.